All right, it's syllabus time. If you wondered, this is what I do with all of my classes that I teach. I have to start at the syllabus just to make sure I know what's going on every week. And so I kind of want to model that for you as well. Okay, so here we go. Boom. We are just moving right along. It's kind of fun to see how much we've gotten done too, right? Any of you out there like list makers? I got so that this summer I had to make myself write lists of things I got done instead of things I had to do because I get too obsessed with what's not done yet. I know, crazy problem to have. Okay, let's go ahead and look at week 13, November 10th through 16th, and you have your proposals done. I've been trying to kind of watch those as they come in, so if you turned yours in early, you might have gotten it back a little early as well. Most of you are right on track with this. Just kind of want to keep reminding you sometimes as we get writing, we get lost in what we're writing. It has to be a persuasive and problem solving position paper. Okay, we've been using a lot of argument. The difference is that persuasion drives for change, argument shows where the issue is. So there is going to be elements of argument in your persuasive paper, but now we are promoting a change of mindset, a change of life, a change of something. Okay, the exercise in Aaron is on plagiarism, and if you would finish that, it's pretty simple this week. It is meant to just remind us and not be held over our heads, okay? To clarify, and I believe that someone may have reported to me that I have the wrong page number on that. Let me look real quick. While I'm talking about why I have this in here, is it's just sort of a reminder to get back to basics. And I don't know how I overlooked this, but we're speaking of getting back to basics. Do you know that Microsoft Word, if you go under review, I believe it is, or maybe it's research, one of those tabs at the top, it will format your MLA for you, your works cited. It's genius. I'll show you here in a second. Okay, but when I say back to basics, sometimes I think we get carried away with the writing and we forget that we really do have to keep our audience in mind, or keep our intent in mind of this being a paper that is academic. And I'm going to hold just 1 second while I find the right page number for this exercise. Okay, false alarm. It is on page 417. What I was trying to say is that we need to remember that we're not just citing sources because we're giving credit to the source. That's part of it. But part of it is that we're part of an academic community, and as part of that community, we want to make sure that our research is credible and that we're showing how our ideas are credible, and that's why we have those internal citations. And it could be something that other people could pick up and do more research on based on our research. I'm doing some research myself right now on blended learning, and I'm reading this really great book called Blended, and at the end of each chapter they have all their footnotes and this beautiful annotated bibliography, and I love it because I'm going, okay, yeah, I've read this, oh, I need to read this, that's where they got this piece of information. And that's what you're doing for your reader, is you're showing your credibility, you're giving them something to study later, and of course then you're giving credit to the original source. So there's several different layers to this, but we're going to talk about how to avoid plagiarism with this exercise. It's just very simple, but mostly I want you to get the idea of just being reminded to be responsible with your writing, and that turnitin.com is a pretty handy little source as well. Now, why I really made this a light week is because this is the week that I have sort of sketched in as being mostly your research heavy week. I recommend getting organized right away. I like to use OneNote, which comes with your Microsoft Word package. It's like a virtual file cabinet, and maybe you just use regular files, because I do that as well too if I have different projects going on. But do set up a specific filing system. I don't care if all of your sources are online, but I would ask that you use the database InfoOhio. EBSCOhost is a great general database to start off with. Click on full texts only, select a range of dates that's recent, and build from there. So I really encourage you not to do Google search as your primary search option, but rather to do EBSCOhost as part of our InfoOhio. And if you need your username and password, the college will have that for you, and you can probably check it through the library links in Sakai and in the Northwest State website. So just really encourage you to do that. Couple factors to make sure that you're using credible sources. They should be recent. they should the author should, or the agency who is writing should be, there should be some credentialing there. There should be, the facts should check out, like you should see some of the same facts occurring over and over again. And you should also see, so this would be consistency in data, and there should be you should be aware of maybe the stance this resource is coming from. So for example, I may have used this example before with you, but I once had a student write a paper against, basically showing how the whole Got Milk ad campaign is bogus and that milk's really not that healthy for you. Don't worry about your opinion on that, but her primary resource was www.milksucks.com. Yeah, that's propaganda, okay? That .com right away, it's a commercial site. Milk Sucks, that's going to be blatantly biased. Now, instead if she had gone into like a database and gathered information about, from like EBSCOhost like I'm talking about, and done her research through that database, I would say 90% of that material is going to be credible. It's already been screened by agents who are editors who search for credible knowledge, and they are in academic databases. I cannot emphasize enough to use that academic database. If you have trouble with it, struggles with it, please let me know and I'll walk you through it as much as I can, or even maybe send you a tutorial video on how to use it. But the basics are this: you log into Info Ohio, because Northwest State, by being a student, you have a password, a username and password to log in. You go into, I like to use EBSCOhost, but you might find another database that works for you. You check the databases within that giant database. You narrow your search by dates and by choosing full text, and then they have this little thing that also will cite your sources for you, which is beautiful. Okay, so you might have already found that last week as you were researching, but hopefully that's helpful. One last thing I wanted to show you, and again, this might be too much too late, I hope not, but this is the way that something I just discovered in Microsoft Word. And let me see here. It's right under here. Okay, and then we got the bibliography style, and I'm going to choose MLA 7th edition, insert citation. I'm going to add a new source, and it gives me all these prompts, and I can find a journal article, like I can slide, there's a little scrolly thing, a website, electronic source, document from a website, yada yada yada. And if you're using this journal article idea, but it's an online one, we would do electronic source. You put your author. If there's more than one author, you click here. You put your title, where they're from. The medium means like print or electronic, the year, the month, the day. And you want it to show all the fields, and you click OK, and it creates it for you. So just wanted to share that with you as a possible way to set up your Works Cited. And again, you may have already, this might be too much too late, but I was excited about it when I discovered it. Have a great week. You just have one assignment you're turning in. The rest is your research. Remember to annotate carefully as you go so you can save yourself some time later. And OneNote or setting up a specific filing system might be one way to organize yourself as you go. Have a great week.